Okay, start recording. Hi, everyone. This is Brian, and I'm going to be reading the Bible in my pajamas today. Uh, doesn't look like Jesus says much in this next passage. Looks like what we're actually seeing is John the Baptist, talk about John. So this is from the book of John. So we have the book of John talking about John the Baptist talking about Jesus. Okay, so let's give this a read. We're in chapter 3 of the book of John, starting at verse 22, going to the end at verse 30. I'm going to say 35. Okay. Nope, 36. Goes to 36. Okay. These numbers are small. Okay. John the Baptist, testimony about Jesus. After this, Jesus and his disciples went out to the Judean countryside, where he spent some time with them, and baptized. Now John was also baptizing in Aenon, near Salem. Because there was plenty of water, people were constantly coming to be baptized. This was before John was put into prison. I don't think he baptized in prison. He could, if there was water, I guess. He usually baptized by immersion. Full dunk in the river sort of thing. An argument developed between some of John's disciples and certain Jews over the matter of ceremonial washing. They came to John and said to him, "Rabbi, that man who was with you on the other side of the Jordan, the one you testified about, well, he is baptizing and everyone is going to him." Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So it sounds like it's like, hey, baptism is your thing, John. You're kind of losing business here. Okay, because we often think, I think especially here in America and Romania, we think capitalistically. Yes, Americans, Romanians think capitalistically. Shocker. Okay, you know who else does? Pretty much everybody who buys things. Okay, got that out of the way. So, they're kind of, it looks like they're saying, "Hey, John, you're in the baptism business. He's kind of stealing your clientele here." Let's see how John responds. To this, John replied, "A man can receive only what is given him from heaven." You yourselves testify that I am not the Christ, but I am sent ahead of him. The bride belongs to the bridegroom. The friend who tends the bridegroom waits and listens for him, and is full of joy when he hears the bridegroom's voice. That joy is mine, and it is now complete. He must become greater. I must become less. How often do we hear that? Maybe behind the pulpit we'll hear that, and there's pastors who believe that. But I mean, here we have John the Baptist saying this ministry, now given it is Jesus' ministry, this is the ministry of God, this is his ministry, he's saying he's not buying into this jealousy. He realizes that, what God gives him is what he gives him. And that's hard. I get jealous. I'm a very, very jealous person. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially here in America, who have more than me. But John was more focused than that at this time, and he had a fuller picture of what was going on. He understood that God was going to bring to him what God wanted to bring to him. And at this time, he was bringing Jesus more. Now, again, one of the things that makes it a little bit easier is, this is Jesus. John knows who this is. This is the Son of God. This is the one who is going to take sins away. This is the one that he was making the way for. So John is on mission. He's on top of it. He understands that he doesn't have to be jealous of Jesus. He gets to be happy for Jesus. And when things are good and righteous, we don't have to be jealous. I love it when I have friends who are successful, that I can see have worked hard and really, really deserve it. It's a little bit harder for me when I see people handed a legacy of ministry like your Franklin Graham or your Jerry Falwell Jr.'s, people who are just handed a ministry and often using it for specifically political means. Not that it's wrong to be political, I certainly am. But you can be political and not use your political beliefs in an exploitive way. But when I see friends who get that, who do get something because it's well earned, that's a lot easier for me. It gets a little bit trickier when I see people doing well and aren't necessarily using what they have well. That gets hard. But it seems like right now John has the right idea. He's not jealous of Jesus at all. In fact, he's aware of what a great time this is to be celebrating the good that comes to him. Romania can be tricky because I know a lot of people are very jealous. A lot of times people don't necessarily want to celebrate the good going to somebody else. It could be as much as, say something good is happening to a neighbor or someone else in town. So, but we have to kind of pull that back a little bit. We have to pull that back. I have to pull that back. When I'm jealous, I need to pull that back. Because God might have a plan for some of these people who are given a lot of things. He may use that in a number of different ways. And worst comes to worst, at least I could try to be here for people that get hurt by some of these wolves in sheep's clothing. That's if they're bad. If they're good, please, great. Hold on to that ministry. Be encouraged and supported by it. Maybe I have no doubt that there are a lot of people being supported and encouraged by some of these ministries, like Franklin Graham's ministry. He's doing a lot of great things for children. Honestly, he really is. But I also don't have any doubt that there's a lot of people that are going to be hurt by it. You can't be as you can't hold to political fear-mongering and not hurt some people. You just can't do that. So hopefully for the people who get hurt, I can do my best to be there for them. There's a lot of people who get hurt from different ministries, and those ministries are still kind of running, and it's in front of them. And that's not what's going on here. But we have to try to be there for the people who do experience these spiritual wounds that come from hierarchies and institutions. We need to do our best to be there for those people. Now, this is a different thing. This again, going back to what this is, John is celebrating Jesus' ministry. He's saying he's really, really happy, and this is what he was actually waiting for. John's saying, hey, you guys know I'm not the Messiah. Let me continue with verse 31. Okay? John is rejoicing in the fact that people aren't coming to his ministry and going to Jesus's. The one who comes from above is above all. See, like I said, he knows who Jesus is. The one who is from earth belongs to the earth and speaks as one from the earth. The one who comes from the heavens is above all. He testifies to what he has seen and heard, but no one accepts his testimony. The man who has accepted it has certified that God is truthful. For the one whom God has sent speaks the words of God, for God, gives the Spirit without limit. The Father loves the Son and has placed everything in his hands. Whoever believes in the Son has eternal life, but whoever rejects the Son will not see life, for God's wrath remains on him. So John is testifying the importance of Christ's ministry, the difference between a spiritual life and spiritual death. This is very, very serious. And because he can recognize that, he can say, hey, this is great that people are going to the source of the ministry, that they're going to the most pure source of ministry. This is a fantastic time. This is what they should be focusing on. So John has a keen perspective on that, specifically because it's focused on the gospel, and that's where we should go first. And that could lead us both to celebrating ministries that may be bigger, that may be attracting people, or that God can move beyond the ministries that could be hurting people, like the places where Jesus went and he flipped over the tables. And most of all, it always comes back to the life-giving properties of the gospel, the spiritual life that is given to us in abundance, both here on earth and eternally, through Jesus Christ. So John was pointing people to Jesus. I want to point you to Jesus. Keep focusing on Jesus, because it's that relationship that comes back to us. We're going to see more of that in John, especially when he rises again. But this is something that John was clear-headed enough to put forward to people. Okay, so with that, keep looking towards Jesus, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Let me find the stop. Okay, it's stopping.